allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, I would remind the commission that you will need to turn your microphones on to be able to, for the audience to be able to hear you.
It's all good to go, which is.
Yes, correct.
Push your little power buttons.
And you may have to really,
Test. Can you hear me?
You are red.
you are, it's red, you're good.
There you are.
Okay, are we ready? Commissioner Bueller, she's coming.
Yep.
Commissioner Day,
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Here.
Commissioner Roops,
Here.
Commissioner Robertson,
Here.
Commissioner Speaka,
Here.
Commissioner Terry.
Here.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes. We have 2 minutes. We held over 1 minute because Ron, several minutes.
1 minute.
So that, we could add Ron's corrections. I think there were some other corrections from different groups and also so that you could use it. So, that was the July 15th meeting. Yeah, are you, or did you look at your?
I move we approve the minutes from the July 15th, 2024 meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, how about the August 5th? Does anyone have any changes on those?
I do. Okay, corrections.
Yeah, and Commissioner Hewitt had a couple, there was a is instead of an if, but
And she was missing.
I was missing,
She
huh?
was missing.
Oh, she was missing from the meeting.
Yeah, I wondered that when I was just listening at
Well,
something.
no, she was here. She just wasn't listed.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
She was missing.
I was missing. Well, I was. I can give those to you after. Is that okay?
Yep, that's just fine,
I
and it's
didn't
just,
even see that.
So Ron, are you okay with, adding the August 5th meeting to your motion?
we don't need a motion for this, we just need to make sure it's all approved.
It's all good.
Okay, all right. Everybody feel comfortable? All right.
We're good, thank you.
Courtesies, proclamations, we have done board and commission reports. Let's start with Commissioner Robertson.
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Hewitt?
The airport board met on August 3rd, and the wildlife fence has a lift gate and it was repaired at the cost of $2,300.
Commissioner Hewitt, what you're saying is very important. And
All right.
I'd like to hear it.
Okay, here we go. Is that better? Yes,
Eat the mic.
yeah, that'd be about it. I'll be cross-eyed too. VACCOM was sent their contract. A billings firm wrote the contract, and our county attorney went through and modified it because it was ridiculous. Those are not my words, those were several people's words. So anyway, it was sent off to Germany. Our new hangar door. The shooting range, the skeet range will be, they have taken out what they want.
Okay.
And the fire department is going to burn the building. It's going to be a training, yes. Yes.
Must be me.
Might be you.
So they'll reconstruct a new fire?
No,
Is building it? No.
no.
There's an old building
There's
there
an old building.
the fire department's gonna use for practice.
But they got it, okay. There is going to be a Majerus, reception, wedding reception on the 24th of August
Where
at
at?
the big hangar
Oh,
up at the airport.
I didn't know they did that.
Well, we didn't know we were doing it either.
Facility was rented out.
The facility is rented,
Okay.
and they are going to, I'd like to just go up and see what they've done to it. They're going to do all the decorating and cleanup and setup. The FAA has not paid Century paving. Mr. Garwood has been on paternity leave. And, he's only working 1 day a week, and instead of letting other people take care of his business, he has fallen way behind. And Morrison Merrily has not been paid either. Nexus, their contract will be up, and they are renewing the 5 acres. And I'm not sure, the T hangers, these guys drive me nuts because I don't know. They are putting hard plastic on the bottom of,
They're just snow protection, it's not a big deal.
right, okay. Well, it said that it would float better, so the door would open better in the T hangers, because right now the T hangers are abused.
They're old,
They're old,
very, very old.
and they need to be replaced. We now, instead of paying 5% on a loan, have to pay 10% with the FAA. Our grant funds were awarded, and they will be available the 24th of July, or the 1st of July, excuse me. And they are going to, well, the 138,000 that we were granted will be used to pave the parking lot and some of the access roads into the, building, the airport building. Actually, we have, the city or county, city,
I committed some funds.
all right, but they, up to the cattle guard, up at the air,
The state of
state of Montana, thank you,
Did that part.
Montana.
did that,
Patching,
Seal.
scrub seal, and chip seal.
right. And, we are going to do the rest of it with the $138,000, the grant. So that will be, we will be fixing the airport parking lots.
That hasn't been done yet.
No. No, that hasn't. And Kurt Erlinson is retiring as of October 15th.
Who's that?
Kurt Erlinson, he is the, second in command up there. And he is retiring. He said he would work a little bit, but not a lot. And we are going to bring the job description up to date, so the board can review it. This will be the next meeting, and then we will be posting for another person to help Mr. Manager. And I think that's about it. That's it.
So the Park and Rec Board met August 7th at the Civic Center. Kelly Henderson, our new director, it was kind of fun, ran the meeting. It was a full agenda covering the topics of the pool, parks, Civic Center trails, and their fall programs upcoming. Just kind of the highlights, things to note, and the pool is now closed. The pool was closing the 15th, but it's closed. And there was a huge shout out given to Jim Daniels, who stayed on through the summer and helped a lot with the mechanics of things. A new swing will be installed at Frank Day Park. It's an expression swing, and a grant was awarded from Central Montana Foundation for that. The soccer club is still working on the MOU for the official transfer of the property. East Fork had a great summer cleanup with many happy campers. No pun intended on that one. The new scoreboards are installed at the Civic Center. The rec desk software that was purchased had great success at the pool, and adjustments are being made for sport registrations. The new gym at Lewis and Clark will hold fall sports activities. And flag football is underway, if not done. Are they done?
Nope.
No.
This might be the last time.
I think this is the last
This is
game,
the last
that's
game.
why Danny's not here, she'll be here.
That is more than
As soon as they
underway. And fall soccer as well. So our next meeting will be held September 4th, 7 p.m. at the Civic Center. And I did have a question off of our, I'll wait till we do our.
I have a question on the soccer MOU, are they drafting it and then it comes to us, or how is that?
So they met with Lisa previously, and they kind of did a short list of, you know, the topics that they wanted addressed in that. It has been turned over to Tyler, and since then, he has now gotten it back to us a couple of times. We're on the second revision, and Kelly is getting her kind of eyes on it. I sent it off last week, and I said we'd meet and discuss this week. So we're close. Included in that is also a deed to transfer the property as well.
Yeah, that was my question, so then it probably has to go through a title company, I'm assuming?
If we chose to, it doesn't necessarily have to though.
I have a question, have they gone to the other parks? And they've been looking at them to replace or repair them?
Yes, they've been visiting the different parks and they're looking, and they kind of have like a priority list of which playgrounds need which updating, and then they've just been kind of slowly chipping away at it.
Yeah, I know they've replaced some swings in different parks and different things too.
What about basketball courts and stuff?
That is part of, isn't it?
The
Part of
assessment.
equipment?
I
Yeah.
don't think
With the
anything
parks,
has been replaced yet, but they are evaluating all of them.
And I think a lot of it is just Kelly being new and getting
Well,
thrown in there,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
checking out
Yes.
who's what and
Yes,
where.
yes, that's true.
Yeah, thank you.
I had someone ask me about, the soccer complex. Who's responsible for providing water for that? Is that on the city main or?
So it is on city water, and we haven't, our previous MOU kind of dictated how that would move forward. So once they started the development, we are not, or we're charging them like we do the rest of the parks. And so it's basically a flat fee where the
Okay.
cities absorb that cost into our system. So eventually, within the next couple of months, it will be a city park.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Commissioner Roots?
Nothing?
Commissioner Speaker?
Yep, Snowy Mountain Development Board met on August 15th. And the big discussion relevant to this group was the dues, which I mentioned last time had come up. So the decision that was made this time around was to equalize the mulligan, so every town and county pays the same per capita. So what that does for us is we were doing around $160 a person, we're now gonna be $169, so about $500 extra. Remember, this is not a fee for services, this is an investment in economic development. Overall, so I said we're gonna be around 169. The average in the state is 238 a person, so we're paying pretty little. Overall, they get about 50,000 from this support out of about $1 million budget, so it makes up a pretty small chunk of their budget. But there's, so, you know, provides that like matching funds for other money they go after. But the next thing is, the board felt pretty strongly that we're still underfunding at that level. And so they're gonna come to us with, and I, you know, kind of a couple proposals on how much they would like to bring in through these dues. And we'll look at potentially raising that. So we don't have those numbers yet in the proposal, but one that was thrown out as a potential is maybe around $2 a person. If that was the case, we'd be paying about $1,900 extra a year. It's a pretty small impacts overall. But is there more you guys want to add about any of that? You have questions for them?
So what's the total amount, what did you say?
That we pay?
Yeah.
That's about 10,000, under 10,000 total. And it would just be, if it went to that $2, it'd be like just over 10,000 roughly. Yeah, so more to come on that, but I guess think about it. I certainly feel like, the 9-cent increase, you know, very easy to justify, and, for all that they do to support economic development in this community, you know, 10,000 doesn't seem like very much to contribute to that.
What part of our budget does that come out? Just
There
general?
is an economic development in the general fund, correct?
And
It's under the general fund, but there's an economic development.
You'll find it in the,
then the next meeting is in November 21st.
Okay, any other questions for Commissioner Speaka?
Thanks. The next meeting is November 21st, that feels so far away.
Yeah, it should be October, but, we're gonna do some strategic planning, so that adjusted plan for that, on that. But let's see, what did we say about the, wanted to make a decision on the funding before then, right?
I think we'll propose the options, and then if the board decides they wanna do like a special meeting to just kind of vote on it, because I know you guys have to figure out budgets, then we can do that.
Commissioner Bueller, welcome.
Thank you.
Did they win? Did they do good?
I watched the beginning and the middle of one. To the middle. I have no idea. I'm on pins and needles, I'll find out later.
Do you have a board report?
The library board was postponed, and will be scheduled again. The director was feeling ill, so we are pushing that out. Nothing to report.
All right, city manager report then.
yes, so you've heard the pool is closed, the splash deck is still up and running until school starts, so that's for the next week. Lisa started it and Kelly's continued to, have a lot of information out there on the Park and Recreation Facebook page, weekly calendars, all of that stuff is on there, and so check it out if you're wondering what's going on. And they have already started, winterizing and doing some larger maintenance projects down there. And so we'll be in a good position for next year. The water tank painting continues. We're excited to report that, they hope to have the project wrapped up by mid-September. So several weeks quicker than anticipating. And, we are in the process of bidding out phase 2 of schedule 2 of our water project. So that includes the main replacement and different things. Those bids, we did pre-bid today and should be received in the next week or so. So at the next meeting, stay tuned for more information on that. And the contractor could start that work this fall yet, but most likely it will be next year. The current phase 1 water water project has now been substantially complete, which means the Miller Station is up and running as well. Just have a few last minute punch list items to address later this fall. And otherwise, that project is pretty much wrapped up. The Department of Transportation was here. We went over the Ash Street project. And again, it's gonna take a while to get designed, but, should be a good thing for our community. Also, the Department of Labor was, here last week. They do compliance inspections of several of our facilities, either annually or semi-annually. Kind of depends on how they lie. I have not seen the reports, but I've been told that, the inspection went well, and so I'll share more information once I have it. That's all I have, thank you.
All right, is there any questions for Holly?
So, can you just give us a little recap on what's happening with the snack shack?
Yes, so one of the items at the park board meeting last time was to discuss the process of rebuilding, a locker room, a kind of year-round locker room facility / snack shack. So this multi-purpose use, for both hockey, swim team, pool, and the Friends of Pools did have some concerns, and so the item was tabled. And we are in the process of seeing if we can get a special meeting together. We would like to tear it down right away here so that we can still yet this fall get concrete, and we've got some bids for the materials. Again, we have secured $100,000 in the rec district funding for the project. We are working on some additional drawings and things like that, but all of that is contingent on the approval from the park board to move forward. So hopefully there's been a lot of questions answered in the last couple of weeks. So hopefully we can get together and just make a decision. We've got contingency plans if so much of the work would be volunteer, and a lot of the hockey folks would be volunteering their efforts as well as some of the other groups. And so they'd like to get started right away while the weather's good.
Thank you.
And just an addition to what we were talking about, the sanitarian and their inspections, they did do both of my hotels, and of course, everything was fine, but it was just, they had come in that next week after, we had talked
Were they
about,
during the weekend?
we had that big discussion and stuff, and they snuck in, we didn't know they were coming or anything, so. But-
They also were down at the pool and did inspections of the pool.
So, it's very good because like, before when we didn't have a sanitarian, before, what was his name, Brett? Bridger, before he was here, it was quite a while in between inspections, so I'm glad to see that they're being very thorough.
Even while they're contract and
Yeah.
working from a different community, they're
Yeah.
still coming and doing their.
Yeah, so, yeah, so I just want to report that, 'cause we had that lengthy discussion about the sanitarian and being at the fair and.
I had quite a bit of confusion on my end, whether or not they were being contracted or just like, they introduced themselves as, we're just doing a meet and greet, so I was confused at what their role was.
Well, I think they're checking properties, 'cause-
Yeah, if you got a meet and greet, your inspection must have went off.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, they didn't ask to meet me.
That's good for fair standards.
So, but anyway, just since we're talking about inspections there. All right, any other questions at all for Holly? Comments? All right, now is the time for public comment, and this is on anything that's a non-agenda item, so anything that's not on the agenda. If you could you please, say your name and, so we know who you are and any public comments, so.
Hi, I'm Ann Tews. I am the secretary for the Friends of the Trails, and I'm here tonight at the request of the Friends of the Trails group. Kevin Murray, our chair, was out of town, so I'm the one that's here instead of him. And we're a nonprofit group that works with the city to fund extra work that's done on the trails. Like, for instance, we just agreed to fund 50% of a new mower to help make the trails look great. And in the past, our group has been really instrumental in getting funding for bridges and the paving that has been done. The reason I am here tonight is because our group is extremely frustrated with the city right now. In fact, I think saying we're angry would not be too strong of a word. Some volunteers no longer want to volunteer because we can't get the city to follow through on their commitments. Let's see, okay, and then, for instance, at this time, we are not planning to conduct our annual fundraiser by letters. We're still doing our Elsa Trails like we do every year, but around this time, we typically send out fundraising letters asking for donors to support us for our projects. Well, for the last 2 years, the projects that we said we are going to do have not gotten completed. So I do not feel comfortable sending out letters to people saying we're going to do these projects when they have not happened. There are several items where the city has let us down, but today I'm going to focus on 2 of them. This installation of flashing beacons on some busy right-of-ways for the trail and on some trail paving grants. Both of these grants were funded in 2022, and the city agreed to help out with this and do quite a bit of work on these projects. The first one I'm going to talk about is the flashing beacon grant. There was 4 beacons that were funded, and one of them has been installed on Brassey Street. This was a $10,000 grant by the Central Montana Foundation, so it was a large grant, and it was for a $25,000 project. And so the Friends of the Trail actually funded more than 50% of these beacons. And if we don't complete this project, we'll probably never get another grant from the Central Montana Foundation. So the city promised to install all the beacons. Only one was installed. It's currently not working properly. I think it needs to have some computer thing reset. And the goal initially was to have these installed before the school year in 2022. It's now 2024. At our meetings, we've been talking about this at length, and the beacons were recently moved from, I think, the city shop. I'm not sure where they were before, and they were moved to an out-of-the-way place. And so it appears the city has no plans to install these anytime soon. I know this is complicated because the places that they're still to put the beacons out are on the MDT right-of-way, because they're on Main Street and they're on Upper Spring Creek. And the group has gotten mixed messages. Kevin Myrie talked with Brandon Graft. He's the alternative contractor with MDT, and he sent Kevin an email that said that these could be installed. However, the Park and Rec and the Trails coordinator was told by the city crew there was no way in blank, blank, blank that they could install those because MDT said they had to install anything. So that's kind of at an impasse. So I guess I'm here to ask, when is the city planning to install these? Do we have approval from MDT to install these? And if the city is incapable of installing these, what can we do? Does the Trails have to hire someone to do it? So that's kind of where we're at there. The second item I have is that the Friends of the Trails in 2022 again worked with the city again, and this is actually a city up by the cemetery. The original grant said that we had until October 15th, 24, And, and that had, if the project wasn't done by then, the money had to be returned. There's been a lot of turnover there at Fish, Wildlife and Parks and such, so I'm not sure what their status is now. I think there's been extremely poor communication in between city management and the Trails Group. The Park and Rec director has come to the meetings, but multiple she's, haven't been able to answer questions that we have about the flashing beacons, where the trail grant is at, and these have been on our agenda for months, and every time it's no report, or maybe something's happening. And so I guess, my question is, what can we do, and how can we improve our communication? And I'd be happy to try to answer any questions in regard to either of these matters.
So do you know at this time if those funds need to be expended by October 15th?
I actually called and got a hold of somebody, and she said we could extend it.
It has not yet been extended at all, so that's.
Yeah, she said we just have to send, she was on vacation, I tried calling her all last week, and she called me like 4 hours ago. So she said it's a different person. Before they're adamant it wouldn't be extended, but she's like, oh yeah. So, so that was a good news. But still, it's been 2 years. It shouldn't have taken this long to do this. And these were 2022 prices. Who knows what it's gonna cost now.
So we've had we all summer had 2 street workers for the entire community. The street department does not have the staffing to do that. Now we have picked up somebody else.
Thank you, Ann.
I believe that they can get this done.
Are you talking about the flashing beacon?
That's the flashing beacons. Now, it may not happen as quickly as you would like. Of course, we will also use the trail coordinator to get that done, which was also vacant during this time as well. And so many of these have fallen by the cracks due to vacancies, but they're still on schedule. Nothing has been approved by DOT at this time. We still have to do the encroachment. I believe that they will go ahead and do that, and have actually asked them to install the ones on 238 by the elevator, because their project butts up to that. So that's the other request that I have made to them. And so that may be part of the mixed messaging you're getting with DOT, is there's kind of 2 different components. Part of it would be tagging onto an existing project that they have, and the other 2 would be strictly city installation. So, as far as the paving is now out. And solicit bids for 2 weeks, 14 days is what our policy is. That can be awarded at the next meeting.
Do you know where the flashing beacons are?
Yes.
Like the 3?
Yep, they moved them so that they were not accidentally ran over.
But they're in an unsecured location. I mean, you can just go up there and grab them and take them, and there's, probably $16,000 worth of stuff sitting on the ground there.
What about the one that's installed that needs some work, you said to it? Who
It-
does that?
Lisa was on board.
What?
Lisa was on board for doing it. What it will take is 2 individuals to go up there, and you have to go up to the top of, where the computer components are, and you just have to reset it and sync them. And so it's gonna take a couple hands, but Lisa was on board for it. Kevin had also volunteered to assist that, because no single individual can accomplish that.
So if I understand correctly, Kevin was misinformed that it was okay to go ahead and install these because you still haven't gotten approval from MDT.
Correct, yeah, they have not been permitted through the MDT process. MDT will go ahead, and it's been discussed that they still have to have application.
I was gonna say, so what's the process? How can we help on the process of, does the city have to put in the request for MDT?
The city will be doing the work, so they're gonna make the contractor, the person doing the work, fill out the application, yeah. And that would be 3 applications, so each location will require its own application.
Okay, so who does that?
Traditionally, it's Public Works that does that. So, in the absence and kind of the training process, those are being coordinated mostly through me. Some of the digs on MDT have also been facilitated by me, but that's all a online process now. So.
Do we have any idea why it has taken 2 years? Is it all just been stuck because of permitting or?
A combination, staffing and turnover and the loss of institutional knowledge, different components being dropped, as people transitioned in and out, and then just short-handedness.
Has the city been able to effectively communicate that to the entities so that they understand our needs?
I think certain folks have. I have not spoke to Friends of the Trails regarding any of these. But I know that our directors at the rec department had been asked.
So the grant is in our budget, we've talked about it, the 73,000. So I'm really hoping we can get somebody to do that paving,
Well, it's out now.
but I mean, like, just with the timing and everything.
And since I'm new, what does "it's out now" mean?
The bid is out.
So what does that mean? Has it been marketed, like advertised?
It will be advertised.
It
yeah.
will, so it
It
has
has to be
not been
advertised
advertised
for
yet.
2 weeks.
Okay, but it has not been put
Correct.
out.
The bid package is out and available.
You said that'll come to us at the next meeting, most likely.
It's scheduled to come.
And I know that we received communication a few months ago, from Kevin. You got email? Did you get an email? Okay.
That was in May, I believe. First part of May.
How often does Friends of the Trail meet?
So we meet the second Tuesday of every month at the Civic Center at 9 a.m. And I think it would be really helpful, Lorraine, since you're the Park and Rec Board rep, if you wanted to start coming to our
I'd
meeting.
be happy to attend if that's.
That would be great, it might help the communication, issue. So our next meeting is, I'll put you on the list, our next meeting is the Tuesday after our Chokeberry.
Given your experience with the process with MDT and with your current staffing, would you expect that those signals will be up in the next 30 days or 60 days or
I would
beyond
say
that?
that the two that the city is responsible for with the project up there, I have had some communication about them including that in there, and I don't know what their timeline is to get the ADA along first bid out. If not, there is the potential that it conflicts with what they're doing. And so that's why that one we have been a little hesitant on.
Which one is that one? Where is it located?
On First Avenue by the Great Elevator.
What about the two, so you think the two that the city is doing can get done in short order?
Yes, yeah. Since then, we've picked up another employee too, so. But the trails will have to support those activities. I mean, traditionally, the Public Works would not have been tasked with this at all. It would have really been facilitated through the recreation, the trails and recreation side.
Do you feel they have the expertise to do it and the people to do it, or should it be farmed out? Just get it done?
They have the expertise. They did one on Casino Creek. So.
And it looks really good, I mean, it was a really nice installation on Casino Creek.
Well, I think that 2 years to accomplish these tasks is a significant amount of time. I understand that projects have snafus and snags, and that's why I think it's very important to communicate effectively between the two partners.
I think too, the weather, I mean, that's gotta be some type of a factor, you know.
Oh,
for
yeah,
all of these projects.
understandably,
When you
there's-
take your 2 years and then you take out what out of those 2 years is actually, you know, you're physically able to work on. I feel like that would play a big factor in that too. So.
There are a multitude of factors in the way, and I think that's why, again, I would like to say, communication, clear and effective communication between the two partners is incredibly important. It helps mitigate frustrations, and it helps projects continue effectively. So I think that is something that we as the city continue to strive to do at our very best.
And there was some, discussion that on the bid, putting the bids out, that the entity should maybe be, like, putting the packages together, or?
In the past, the city has not put together the specs or anything. Those were prepared by consultants or the Trails group. I'm thinking the bridges and stuff. And I don't know exactly who put them together. Well, we advertised it and acted as kind of the pass-through. We did not do the technical part of the process. And so,
So who actually wrote the grant that got the 73,000? You did, okay. Great, well, thank you for coming and expressing this to us, and,
So I have one more thing.
Sure.
Holly, do you want me to email this Beth Shoemade and CC you and ask for an extension, or do you want?
I have Beth's email. I've worked with her on land and water stuff in the past.
Okay, she's the current contact, all the other.
Why don't you loop me in?
Yeah, I
to
would
that?
CC you on that
Yeah.
then, because I just talked with her this morning, and she said it sounded like it could come from me and it didn't have to come directly from the city, so. And that way we'll know it's taken care of. All right. That would be great if we could get some, oh, I did, those, they're kind of sitting out in the elements, those beacons. Is there any way we can, like, cover them up or something, you know? I mean, they're supposed to be out in the the elements, but not lying on the ground in boxes.
We'll work to get them on.
Okay, all right, thank you.
any other comments, questions?
Yeah, thanks for
on
your
this?
homework.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Public comment session? Does anyone else have another public comment on non-agenda items? Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda, acknowledgement of the claims that have been paid from August 1st to August 15th for a total of $71,978.77. Does anyone have any questions?
I did. That question might feel a little silly. So I just want to know, what is paper for billboards? What is that?
It's on the front page.
I mean, it's only $7, but I just didn't know, like,
What number?
it's not the
Oh, right there.
55683.
Oh,
We're not talking like the billboards on the.
I think bulletin board would have been a better.
I think it's that, and, yeah, I think it was the bulletin boards, and then I know that they replaced some signs in the, when they were putting up in the civic center, the new scoreboards and stuff, I think they covered some stuff up for protection purposes too, so, but yeah, billboard.
And then my only other, it's more of a question, it's not like a dispute on the claims or anything, is on 55734. It had talked about the board, the scoreboards that are installed in the civic center, which look amazing, by the way. Is that federal, Fergus? I thought that it was Allied Steel that did one. Am I just confused, or is that, I thought that Central Electric did the install for like a reduced or like a,
I'm
help
guessing
sponsor?
she couldn't fit all three, but you're absolutely right. It's
Okay.
Allied,
Allied.
Central Electric, and Fergus Federal.
Okay, so just, Fergus Federal and Allied Steel got the funds back on that.
They're the ones that did pay for the actual scoreboard, so that was a higher cost. This is the other sponsors that, there were some spots down below on the scoreboard that sponsors could
Okay,
help with additional. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I understood what was happening. Okay, thank you.
I'd entertain a motion on the claims.
I'll move that we approve the claims paid from August 1st of 2024 to August 15th of 2024 for the total listed.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Day, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. Any other comments from the commission? If not, please raise your right hand to acknowledge the payment of the claims. Thank you. Anyone not want to acknowledge the? Raise your left hand. Okay, discussion and action on resolution number 4162, a resolution approving an application from W. Randall, Randy Hafer, and Jana Hafer for a TIF revolving loan. Our first TIF revolving loan. Holly?
Yes, so at the last TIF board meeting, the board did have a lengthy discussion on an application that they had received, for TIF revolving loan. Funding, and this would be for the Broadway Apartments. Also in attendance virtually is Randy Hafer and Kurt. Randy Hafer is the applicant and Kurt Kaiser is the loan officer for SMDC, as well as Sarah Hudson and Carly Wheatley with SMDC. The loan request is for $100,000, really to provide the documentation necessary to continue the permitting process for the Broadway Apartments. The ask was for $100,000. The interest rate proposed was 5% over 10 years. The first year would be interest only and a balloon payment at year 7. And so after quite a lengthy discussion, the TIF board did unanimously approval or passing this application on to you guys for eventual approval. So, is there anything anyone else would like to add?
I am on the TIF board, and I would add, I did eventually vote to approve it, this loan. This is probably not what we originally envisioned for these style of loans. We imagined them being more of a gap filler at the end of what was called the stack of loans, kind of the gap fill to finish it off. In this case, however, it is more of almost an engineering, kind of move along the engineering to get to a point of building. After great discussion and reluctance, we were assured, and that you'll notice the language in here says that if the revolving loan fund has first position as a lien on the property, we would go along with this, and a personal guarantee by the applicants. So we felt that there was significant financial coverage for this loan for us in this position, and that we would not relinquish that position if other banks come in, or when other banks come in, because they will want first position, they will have to buy this loan out or satisfy the assurances on this loan. And so this is a little unusual. However, the size of the loan, $100,000 loan, compared to the value of the property, which is more than at least twice the value, perhaps more. We felt that it was a good use of the funds, and kept the, well, I'll call it the taxpayers well covered, in case there was a default, which we would hope there's not a default, and we hope the project moves forward, which is the point of the fund. So I would say this is not the usual use, but it is very well secured.
We also had a lengthy discussion, obviously, and Randy, you can chime in on kind of the eventual use of the project, but it will be housing, and so it really met a need for our community and kind of a win. So.
it's just in the loan documents.
So it's the final whereas.
Yeah.
There be a further
The first
resolve.
position,
It's both in here and it will be in the loan documents.
Okay.
Yes, but we were very clear in approving it, that that kind of first position would be maintained and the personal guarantee would be in place.
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 4162 to approve an application from Randall Hafer and Jana Hafer for TIF revolving loan as $100,000.
and to remain first position on the lien.
As
That's all in there though.
as it pertains to this document.
Or resolution.
I'll second it.
Okay, is there any other, comments from the public? You guys have any comments? Do you have any comments, Snowy Mountain Development?
I would just like to say that, I've worked with Randy on a number of projects over the last decade or more. And I know that he knows very well how to build his capital stack, and in this instance, he has done that very well with a USDA 538 loan, historic tax credits, a $40,000 grant from the state, and then energy credits as well. However, like with Tim, I was uncomfortable if not but for the first lien position.
Thank you. Is there any other comments from the commission?
I'm just very happy and excited to see this money being used to enhance housing in Lewistown.
I'll add one more thing, that Snowy Mountain is doing a loan to him for all the brownfields abatement. So we have him at $175,000 with that, with option to go to $225,000.
Okay. We might get that old building.
I gotta say, that's a long haul on that
It's
one.
been a long haul on that building.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does the Historic Society still have their figures in there?
Randy purchased the building from the Montana Preservation Alliance, or Preserve Montana as they go by now. So he is the owner, or his LLC is the owner. Is that correct, Randy?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Okay, all right, well, let's go ahead. Is there any other comments, Sarah?
No, ma'am.
Any other questions, comments, commission?
I would just make it really clear. The TIP board doesn't want any inferences drawn from its comments about Mr. Hafer, the development. It was the style of loan that was kind of unorthodox or unexpected that we were most concerned about in the capital stack, because the rest of the stack is kind of contingent upon further development. And so it's not a guarantee quite yet. It's moving forward, but it's not guaranteed quite yet. So this is a little kind of it's kind of preliminary in its nature.
Well, I think that the TIF revolving loans type of stuff, you're gonna probably get some really interesting, those types of things where when things come in, it's like, well, we're applying because we just can't quite get this one piece to kind of work out or figure out or whatever. So I appreciate the discussion on it, and also just like, you know, the policy that's put forth and the requirements through this resolution. So I think that, I don't think you've seen the last of this non-traditional approach.
I don't expect it will be. However, being our very first one, we wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and good job to the board and to Snowy Mountain Development for just being like, okay, it's our first time, so.
If Kirk tells me it's a sound loan, it's a sound loan.
Yeah, so, well, good. So I appreciate that, the thought that went into it and stuff, and I feel like this is a really good document, so good job, guys. All right, all those, go ahead. We got a motion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table, to approve resolution number 4162, a resolution approving an application from W. Randall Hafer and Jana Hafer for a TIF revolving loan, noting that the the TIF is in first position on the loan. We okay with that? Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Okay, so next is this, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the TIF. The discussion and action on approving the 2024-2025 annual plan for the TIF district, and that is, we have that. It was in your pack, should have been in the packet. Yep. So this is the TIF, budget and work plan, and this is where Ron has been crunching all his numbers. So, Ollie? what do you
Yes.
have to-
So you'll see the estimated tax revenue, as I briefly touched on, it is very projected, because we don't have the final number of mills, until October, and so we do our best to estimate that each year. I feel fairly confident we'll be close there. The cash carry forward, which is our previous year's assessments or unspent revenue. And then the TIF board came up with the amount. So they asked that 40% of the total go to the revolving loan. So that's the 640,000-ish number. 1% of that go to management, which included SNDC and operating expenses. 25% to private property investment. 45% to infrastructure investment. 19% discretionary investment opportunities, and 10% of the remaining funds to reserve or future opportunities. And again, the TIF board and their budget wants to continue to prioritize private and public investment to generate taxable value. These projects include, but are not limited to, improving building facades, infrastructure, and other public benefits such as parking, upper story housing, things like that. The board will continue to work to expand their knowledge of revolving loans and bonding opportunities in order to be more prepared to take on large projects in the future. And Snowy Mountain will continue to act as the administrators for the board. So no huge changes. They have started to get a decent amount of money and have got their first loan done.
And throughout the year, have given out quite a bit of money this year.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
probably maybe as much as you wanted to or whatever, but
Would like to give
that's
out,
some really good projects.
would like to do more if private property owners are willing and able to do more, certainly can do more. But a little bit of also looking for bigger projects that again generate taxable value. That's the hard part and the important part, is there are projects we can do in the community, but to generate taxable value is the key. And really infrastructure in the region, TIF district, is gonna be critical. And so we're kind of have some funds sitting there trying to amassing enough funds to do something significant because infrastructure is so much more expensive. So try and find the right projects.
So if one were to apply for one of these projects, would that be the November 21st? That would be the deadline for that? Is it the Snowy Mountain, or will TIF meet?
No,
Every month. Every month.
So I think they'd like to get their application in by the first of the month, so the board has an opportunity to review it before they meet the second Monday of each month.
And those applications are on the City of Lewistown website.
Yes, or you can have them at Snowy Mountain.
Call Abby at Storm Mountain.
Yeah.
She'll get you taken care of.
Well, is there a motion to approve this work plan?
I'll move that we approve the annual plan for the 2024-2025 for the tax increment finance district.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Day, second by Commissioner Hewitt. Is there any discussion from the public? Any comments from the commission? Right, oh, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, just want y'all understand my feelings about having, hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money sitting idle. And I'm very thankful for Commissioner Robertson explaining, the long-term end of this to try and cover the bigger, projects that we hope are gonna be coming. And, it's just, it's like we hear over and over again, it just takes so much time to get anything done, depending on it. So, pray for stuff to happen, and so we can use this money.
And I would just assure you, Commissioner Rooms, that there's no desire to sit on it.
Yeah.
The desire is to make it function and do good in the community. It's finding the right project that we can all be excited about.
That was a poor choice of term.
No, it's a legitimate concern, that you collect the tax money, you want to churn it, you want it out there doing good.
Use it.
And the TIF board is very concerned about that, but they're also trying to find the right project that really makes the difference in generating tax revenue.
Who's all, do we have a vacancy in the TIF board?
Not anymore.
No, and that's in there somewhere, that if we do, we don't, that I'm wondering.
Who is?
So Tim is on there, Megan Bartel,
That's who we approved.
that's the last one. Scott Solberg, Mike Chapman, and Dave Byerly. Thank you.
Dave Bartley.
All right, well, let's go on this.
Oh, I do have a motion. I didn't think I had a motion yet, sorry. We are approving the 2024-2025 TIF annual plan. Commissioner Bueller? Aye. Commissioner Day?
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Roots?
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson?
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka?
Aye.
Commissioner Terry?
Aye. Okay, so moving on, we have the, same sort of thing to approve for the Targeted Economic Development District, or the TED. So you should have your little paperwork here. Ollie?
It's kind of the same process. The estimated tax revenue this year is just under 155,000. They have, just over 300,000 of, cash carry forward for kind of a total operating budget of 492,000. Their desire is to invest 10% of that budget into private property investment, 65% into infrastructure investment, 15% into discretionary investment opportunities, and have 10% in reserve or for future funding opportunities. Again, this board continues to prioritize public-private partnerships that generate tax value and projects that improve infrastructure. The investment plan and application are used to determine eligibility of applicants and projects, and you can get them at SunDC, because Snowy Mountain will continue to staff this board.
Why doesn't it have the management expense?
Because we have had nothing come. I mean, they have had no applications, they're just kind of in the building, infancy stages. And so it takes very little work to administer the TED compared to the TED.
I would explain something you know later. When would you like? You'll see a difference. I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
So you'll see a difference in the portions and where they're being, how this is divided up as per plan. In a much greater infrastructure investment. And the reason is because there's a huge need on that end of town, obviously, between the, extension of sewer is a huge one, and also the potential down the road of the business park development at the airport down in Bakken would be. So we're focusing or putting a bigger share into investment, infrastructure investment. I would also point out that one tool that is at the disposal of TIF districts and TED districts is bonding. And there has been cautious discussion about the idea of bonding projects, it's not an unusual thing to do, and most TIF and TED districts have done it. And so I think it will probably be necessary, if I had to guess, down the road to use a bonding, issue bonds to do some kind of larger infrastructure development, especially in the TED area. So just keep that in mind, it might be coming down the road. There isn't a specific one in mind, we just talked about the fact that that's a tool that we may need to use, and Snowy Mountain will be helpful with that if and when the time is right. So again, as Holly said, it's really early and there's not a lot of money there. And so we haven't been, kind of been saving these shekels for a bigger project that we know is coming.
Good point. It's, we kind of, as a commission, always go through the TIF, TED, and TBID just to make sure that we all understand, how they're funded, how the alphabet, the acronyms. But, it's any sort of explanation, especially, on how it's actually working and within the work plan and stuff is super helpful, because, some people ask us, what does the TIF and TED do? Why did you approve this loan or approve this, project, so it's good to have those explanations done, so thanks, I appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions on this, or I would entertain a motion?
I move to approve the 24-25 annual plan for the targeted economic development district.
Second. Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Speaka, seconded by Commissioner Day. Is there any comments from the public? I thought you were gonna stand up and say something. Any other comments from the commissioners? Okay.
All right, voted up. We are approving the 2024-2025 annual plan for the Targeted Economic Development District. Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Roops.
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson.
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Public hearing to hear comments on resolution number 4159, also included in the packet, or resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 work plan and budget for tourism business district, improvement district number 1. I will now open the public hearing. You're not gonna stick around for the public hearing?
But I'm having so much fun.
I'm here. Thanks for coming, guys. See you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Holly.
Again, the Tourism Business Improvement District, or TBID, is our hoteliers. They have recently asked us to re-up the TBID for another 10 years, and so we're just kind of concluding year 1 of, or the 11th year, year 1 of the next 10 years. And the work plan that's presented tonight was approved by the board. It really is no different than the previous year. Their projected budget is $40,000. They had about $20,000 left over. And so they have an operating budget of $60,000. Their budget is, and their purpose is to create opportunities and focus efforts on the TBID's mission, which is generating room nights for lodging facilities in the city. That includes marketing and marketing across the state, both print, digital, you name it. They do sponsorships of events here locally. And so you'll see that they have sponsorship, marketing, other opportunities, and then administration costs. So the city does do admin for the TBID, but their insurance is just about $1,000 annually.
So this is a much smaller budget and work plan than what we've just seen, because we work in dollar bills, y'all.
$1 at a time.
We do not work in taxable dollars. So it's a a lot smaller, but we do fund, the T-bid funds, you know, a lot of little things that go on in town and conferences and stuff. But I have to tell you, when I first read this first whereas, in order to increase tourist trips, I really didn't like that, because I read it as increased tourist traps. So,
One or the other.
Might wanna change the wording.
maybe the wording could just be to increase tourism, I don't know, and promote instead of tourist trips. I'm willing to approve it anyway, I'm just saying, I read it as tourist traps, so that's not what we're trying to do. Or maybe we are, who knows? We work in dollar bills, y'all.
You're only handle $1 trip.
Yeah, so,
40,000, nights stayed here a year now. Yeah, hotel nights, hotel rooms.
And that's not, I mean, if they're staying more than, 30 days, that
Yeah.
doesn't count. I mean, that's the ones that they have to pay on.
this is our prime season.
Why is the total expenditures higher than the total revenue?
Because they have some cash carry forward.
Yeah, and
But it's higher than that, right? 63 versus 60.
It's rounding, and they haven't expended everything either, I don't think.
yeah, and it's our reserves to give us some money. So the carryover is actually our, like, what we did not spend, and then the 15,000 is our actual reserves. So that those are two different pots of money.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But I see what she's saying, so if you look at that second page, the carryover that we have estimated is actually 40,000 last year.
And now, not that, because there is some that has been allocated, and so that's the weird thing, that we have not been billed for, but it already has been allocated. You know, there's some weird, like the Cowboy Poetry that happens in August that
It was before this.
a long time awarded. And so
Wow.
there's this weird kind of gap, but, there's money there, we promise.
Better be.
Yeah, it does
It's
look
just very
Like I said.
estimated.
Okay. And this is actually, it's a very kind of safe budget.
Conservative.
It is very conservative, because you can see, obviously, that like our third quarter is where we make our most money. And this is not a tax, it's an assessment.
Correct. And the city is
Must
just
be stormy night.
the pass-through. So we send out statements, the hotels pay us and we hold the money. And then as we do the admin, we also reimburse those awardees and pay the vendors, different things.
Any other questions? Entertain a
We
motion.
need to close the public meeting.
Oh, yeah, I'm closing
Thank you.
we're not voting. I'm closing the public hearing.
Thank you. Now you can do whatever you want.
All right, so now we can have any more discussion and action on approving the resolution. Which is the work plan and budget for T-bid.
Yes.
The end result of the TIBID is when you can bid a convention, to bring people into Lewistown to have an annual meeting. And you can bid this, and you usually bid it at so many dollars, like $100 to $110 per person coming in from all over the state. When you can bid that at $20 less per person, you get the convention. It's that simple. And I know the organizations I've been with that have used this, that's what made it possible. So it is a very good thing.
Is that a motion?
This is severe thunderstorm warning.
Oh, I hate the first of the year.
this is a little, but has there ever been any talk about raising that dollar tax? Or is just, our hotels felt like we just can't, I mean, because there, at one point, there's another hotel that doesn't do that, doesn't even pay, right?
Let's. This is a public hearing, so,
No,
No, it's
close
on
here
now.
Let's close the public hearing.
oh, now we're on 5,
Yes.
gotcha.
We've talked about it, and I think that's probably something that's gonna happen. We are very low in like comparatively, but we did a little restructuring too, so we didn't wanna go crazy. And, we thought we would start something maybe next year.
We would like
might do it
to
now.
get the money out there and kind of let that speak for itself. They've dedicated a lot of money towards a new billboard on the west side of Lewistown. They're kind of taken over that. And so they're kind of stepping up their game.
So, it's mostly, it's something that's going to happen down the line, but right now it's, just in the discussion phase.
So stay tuned.
Yes.
I move to approve resolution 4159.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Speaka, seconded by Commissioner Day. Is there any comments from the public? Which is dwindling.
Each motion and passion.
Any other comments from commissioners?
We are approving resolution number 4159, approving the fiscal year 2025 work plan and budget for the Tourism Business Improvement District number 1. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Roots,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Okay. How do we do it? 5. 6. Discussion and action on approving resolution number 4160, resolution approving an assessment to defer the cost of the work plan and budget for tourism business improvement district. So, all right, Holly.
Again, we've touched on this. Again, the T-bid assesses $1 per occupied room night. They would like to continue that, for at least this time being. And, it's passed through, it's not a tax, it's an assessment on those folks that rent rooms.
So there has not been discussion about raising that, that's.
There's been discussion, but we're not doing it right now. We're just sticking with our $1. It'd be kind of cruel and during our busiest season to say like, oh yeah, actually it's gonna be $2. So we're gonna hold off until it gets a little quieter and we spend some of our funds because we'd like to get rid of some of them.
And when will you be able to include air balls into this?
Well, that's not they have to pay lodging tax, but they are not technically within the
Okay.
hotelier district.
Okay.
Because right now it's defined as any hotel that's 6 rooms or more.
Right. But that's okay.
Don't we have like a
All right.
map?
It's just,
I think it's within the city limits.
Yeah.
If they change the number to exclude that one.
There's one.
Everyone able to participate is participating in this.
Yeah, there's one hotel that's.
One that
No, they're not able to
They're not able to.
because of the change.
The change of the 6 rooms or what? Oh, got it. Okay.
So everybody pays, everybody, They don't necessarily participate at the same level as some, but, on the board, but they all have a representative on the board as well.
Okay, so who's interested in keeping it at $1?
I move to approve resolution number 4160, a resolution approving an assessment to defray the cost of the work plan and budget for tourism business improvement district number 1 for fiscal year 2025.
second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Bueller, second by Commissioner Roots. Is there any comments from the public? Still nothing? You guys have done something here. Any comments from the commission? All right, let's vote.
Okay, we are approving resolution number 4160. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Okay. Now we have one more resolution, discussion and action on approving resolution number 4161, a resolution relating to adopting a preliminary budget and providing a date for public hearing and adoption thereof for the fiscal year beginning July 1st and ending June 30th, 2025. So this is the one that, where we say we're gonna approve our budget.
That's the date.
Yeah.
And then Nikki will have to advertise the public hearing. For all of
Boy, it sounds rough out there.
Now that it's raining, we may have just taken a little too long. It is a big storm.
There's a big storm about that.
It's a big one. It's got.
Make a motion.
Let's go.
I think September 3rd sounds great.
I'll move to approve resolution 4161, a resolution relating to adopting a preliminary budget and providing a date for a public hearing and adoption thereof for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025.
I'll second that.
We have a second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Day, second by Commissioner Hewitt. Any comments from the public?
Yay or nay, I don't know.
Any other comments from the commissioners?
Ready?
September 3rd is Danny's anniversary.
What a great day to talk about.
What'd you say? Today's
It's
my,
my anniversary day,
how many years?
13.
Wow. Okay, we are approving resolution number 4161. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Roops,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. All right, any citizens' requests?
Still looking.
Once, going
We're
twice.
like, let's get out of here. Commissioners' minutes.
If it's raining, we may want to wait a minute.
I will take 1 minute.
Yes, take a minute.
I was asked to visit, who are these? The Fergus Conservation District invited me to a meeting tomorrow, to discuss eastern heath snail. They're here in Fergus County and on city property, so they're inviting me to a lunch, and then they're going to take us down to Lewistown Conta to see
Do we
these
get lunch?
in person, that's what it says. We'll have a sandwich lunch. Discuss the snails. Exactly, escargot. I'm excited, feeling very Parisian. But I will go to that one. Are they invasive? Is that why we don't like these?
It's an invasive snail that affects, hay and other egg crops.
Okay.
I will be there and I know Doug was invited as well.
Would love to learn about snails.
These are not the water snails then?
Land snail.
Land
snail.
Snail.
Land mollusks.
Well, I had one as a pet. Living in Hawaii. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, seriously.
That is my minute. I've got
It's
no
a
minute. Snail minute.
A snail minute. Snail minute, no minutes, what about you, Commissioner Rooms?
Nothing.
I'm good, except for terrified of driving home in this, but.
Torrential downpour.
You don't have to worry about driving, you just fly.
I know, I'm called and picked up in the middle of the night, but I say, no, I can do this. I can do it. That does not need to go on the record.
That was more
Thank
inside.
you, tonight was very good, I thought there was a lot of good.
Oh, right, we love you.
I forgot what I was gonna say, so.
Well, holler it out.
Yeah,
If you remember.
I won't hold you up for long, but, my wife, who, I don't know if many of you know my wife, runs the Labyrinth down at Frank Day Park. But she came home excited today because there's yet another group doing something in the new warming shelter, the new shelter that the Rotary paid for and put up. I'm a member of the Rotary, full disclosure. But it appears there's quite a demand for that in that park, as that is used almost every day, multiple times. And so, I was excited to hear that. So, Park is being used a lot.
It doesn't
They
have
do
to be
need-
reserved, does it?
If you want exclusive use.
Otherwise, it's first come, first served.
Yeah, but it's really been used a lot.
I've seen it used every
And,
time I go.
and I would just, I'm not trying to stir a pot or anything, but restrooms for that park would be really good.
It'll be
Beyond
coming
the
with
pool.
the new building.
That's the new building.
I hear you, we need to make sure they stay open the length of the season, not just the pool.
It's heated.
So 24/7 year round?
I don't know that we'll go that.
Because, yeah, the bathrooms right now are still closed because of the vandalism.
Because of the vandalism and conditions,
There,
we took the flushable ones and just have porta potties. So it is,
there is a bit of a vandalism problem in the park. I as well volunteer with the Labyrinth, and my wife are working with police department because they've been able to identify some juveniles that are doing some of that vandalism. So,
and
where are
as,
your children?
yeah, as part of
They're all at
the,
home.
new year-round shelter facility down there, cameras will be added too. So that will help with some of that.
We'll catch those juveniles.
If you've seen the show New Girl, they're called Street Youths.
Street youth? That is cute.
Cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, again, you don't have to put.
All right, is there anything else?
Is there anything else in the order?
No, but I have a question.
Reference to the committee.